China's armed forces are the largest in the world, with about 2 million active personnel. But the most important fact isn't their size, it's who they answer to. The People's Liberation Army is not the army of the Chinese state. It is the armed wing of the Chinese Communist Party. The party commands the gun. Mao's rule, from 1938, still defines everything. Every officer swears loyalty to the party, and political commissars sit beside every commander. Over the next 10 minutes, we will climb the whole structure, from the top commission down to the theater commands. Let's start at the very top. At the apex sits the Central Military Commission, known as the CMC. Its chairman is Xi Jinping, who is also Party General Secretary and State President. Under the chairman responsibility system, final authority on every major decision rests with him alone, including the sole authority to authorize nuclear use. Beside the chairman sit two uniformed vice-chairmen and a handful of members. In 2016, the four old general departments were broken into 15 smaller organs reporting straight to the CMC. Key ones include the Joint Staff Department for Operations and the Political Work Department for Loyalty, plus the Equipment Development Department for Weapons and the Discipline Inspection Commission for Anti-Corruption. 15 weaker organs, one stronger chairman. That was the point. Below the CMC, the force is split into two tracks: who builds them and who fights with them. Track 1, the four services. Their job is to man, train, and equip. They build the force. The ground force, roughly 965,000 soldiers in 13 group armies of combined arms brigades. Once utterly dominant, it has been deliberately shrunk to fund the other services. The Navy, the world's largest by hull count, with more than 370 ships, 3 fleets, and 3 aircraft carriers. The Air Force, around 400,000 personnel, with J-20 stealth fighters now in serial production. The Rocket Force, unique in the world, one service holding both conventional and nuclear missiles. 6 combat missile bases across the country, from short-range DF-15s aimed across the strait to DF-41 intercontinental missiles that can reach any point on Earth. 4 services build the force, but since 2024, there is a second group beside them. In April 2024, Xi dissolved the Strategic Support Force, the space and cyber service created in 2015. In its place, 3 new arms, each reporting directly to the CMC. The Aerospace Force, satellites, launch centers, and counter-space weapons. The Cyberspace Force, network attack, electronic warfare, and espionage. The Information Support Force, the military's communications backbone, the network everything else runs on. They join the Joint Logistics Support Force, created in 2016 to move fuel, ammunition, and supplies for everyone. 4 arms, 1 level below the services, fewer layers between Xi and the information domain. So who actually fights? That is the other track. Track 2. 5 theater commands created in 2016 from 7 old military regions. The formula: the CMC leads, theaters fight, services build. Each theater is a joint headquarters commanding Army, Navy, air, and missile units in its region. The Eastern Theater, headquartered in Nanjing. Its focus, Taiwan. The busiest command in the PLA. The Southern Theater, in Guangzhou, the South China Sea, and Southeast Asia. The Western Theater, in Chengdu, the largest by area, covering the Indian border, Xinjiang, and Tibet. The Northern Theater, in Shenyang, Korea, the approaches to Japan, and the Russian border. The Central Theater in Beijing. It defends the capital and serves as the strategic reserve. In war, a theater commander runs the joint fight with forces the services built for him. Beyond the PLA proper, the party holds two more armed layers. The People's Armed Police, about 500,000 strong. Internal security, riot control, and counter-terrorism. Since 2018, the armed police answer only to the CMC, not to the civilian government. Under them sits the China Coast Guard, the world's largest, with cutters bigger than many navies' destroyers. It is the frontline tool in maritime disputes, grey zone pressure without firing a shot. And beneath everything, the militia, including a maritime militia of fishing boats that swarm contested waters. Party, army, police, militia, one chain, one chairman. Put it together. In peacetime, the services and arms recruit, train, and equip. In wartime, the CMC, through the Joint Staff, gives orders to a theater command. The theater's Joint Operations Center commands ground, naval, air, missile, and support units together. Nuclear weapons are the exception. The rocket force's warheads answer to the CMC chairman directly. One brain, 5 fists. So where is all this heading? 3 deadlines drive everything. 2027, the PLA's centenary. Complete key modernization milestones. American intelligence reads it as the date to be capable of a Taiwan invasion. Capability, not a decision. 2035, modernization basically complete. 2049, a world-class military on the People's Republic's own centenary. The official budget is well over $200 billion a year, second only to the United States. Most analysts believe the real figure is higher. The obstacle is corruption. 2 defense ministers and a string of rocket force generals have been purged since 2023. Xi's bet, reorganization plus purges equals a force that actually works. The whole structure on one screen. One party, one chairman, one commission, the CMC. 4 services that build: Army, Navy, Air Force, Rocket Force. 4 arms that support: aerospace, cyberspace, information support, and logistics. 5 theaters that fight: East, South, West, North, and Center. Plus the armed police, the Coast Guard, and the militia. The party commands the gun. Everything else is detail.